everybody? Welcome back to the Dorm Debate podcast. Guys, we hit 10,000 followers on TikTok. We just want to first say thank you for every 10,000, and we're still growing. We're almost at 11,000 already. It was a great Christmas present for all of us. So thank you guys for everyone who followed and anyone who's come over to YouTube. Thank you again. Make sure you leave a like, comment that you came over from TikTok. We'd love to see it. But other than that, let's get right into the Christmas games. We got Christmas games, Christmas Eve games. John, I think you'll agree with me on this one that the one that we need to talk about first off was Dolphins versus Raiders. I think you texted me at the end of that game. We're like, we got to talk about this right now.
We do.
So for a little breakdown, the Raiders lost a heartbreaker to the Dolphins Saturday night after Gruden decides to drain the clock and kick a field goal to go up by 2 rather than run it in for a touchdown. And Ryan Fitzpatrick comes in for Tua and throws a 40-yard pass while being face masked, just no-look pass all the way down, gets a penalty, they get in field goal range, kick a field goal, win it by 1 point, and that loss eliminates the Raiders from playoff contention. John Gruden, in his 3 years, has not made the playoffs. John, let's first talk about the Raiders, and then we'll go to the Dolphins in a second. But is it time to move on from John Gruden?
Well, I don't think it's time to move on from him yet, but that was just horrible. I mean, first of all, they got super lucky with the deep pass to Aguilar with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left, and that was not pass interference. I'm sorry, but they got free freaking 70 yards on that one. And then they go down, and I'm watching, I'm doing other stuff because it's the day after Christmas or whatever, but I look over and all of a sudden I see a replay that Jacobs like slid down at the 1 yard line. And I'm like, I turned to my dad. I'm like, did you see that? He's like, what? And he looked over. He's like, they're idiots. Why would you do that? Like, if you have the points, you take the points. It's so much harder to get a touchdown in the NFL than to get a field goal. And Jacob slides down and Carr comes on the next play, winds the clock down. He takes a knee. He's like, oh, yep, tosses the ball to the ref. He's like, yep, we just won the game. Let's just kick the field goal. And they kick the field goal, and it comes back to Fitz Magic. And to be honest, I've been saying Fitz Magic for like this whole year and whatever, but I'm actually starting to believe that it actually is magic, because how can you get face masked? He's looking back at his, I think I know what happened. He was looking back at the screen behind him, and then he's like, oh, wait, that guy's open over there. And he throws it. And the guy's just waiting there like they're playing cover 2 with 20 seconds left, and the Dolphins have no timeout. So cover 2, if you guys don't know, does not cover the deep corners. So I don't understand that. Why do you play cover 2? The guys are playing the flat. Why are you playing the flat? There's 20 seconds left.
Let them go underneath. Yeah.
The guy, Matt Collins, is like, what the heck? That guy's there. He's like, all right, I'll just go out of bounds. Also, stop the clock. Then they get a face mask penalty. They just got 70 yards on one play. And it's like, how stupid can you be? First of all, not going into the end zone. Second of all, playing cover 2. Third of all, face masking. And it's just horrible coaching. You have to have your teams prepared for this. We see this with the Falcons. We see this with other teams just blowing leads, and they don't deserve to be in the playoffs. The Dolphins do. So it's just horrible. I just couldn't get over it. I was actually happy that he made the field goal. I was like, good, because if you make those decisions, you just deserve to lose and go home and whatever. I don't care.
It's like there's a difference between playing to win and playing not to lose. I think we mentioned that not years ago, but like when the Jags are playing in the playoffs against, I think, the Patriots with Brady. I mean, there's a mental difference, and I think you're right. Had the Raiders won, I mean, I think it sucks when your team doesn't make the playoffs. As an Eagles fan, I'm aware, but you're right. It's like you look at how the Dolphins have played this year, and you look at Fitz Magic is deserving of the name after what he's been through and how well the team has played. That's just a crazy ending.
Yeah, I think Fitz Magic won him the game more so than the Raiders getting upset. Look, I've been saying it for the whole season. All the Dolphins coaches are doing is lowering the confidence of Tua. Why do you take him out and prevent him from coming back and then put Fitz in and then he has a great game? See, that's just ruined a young quarterback's confidence. Stick with one quarterback. So that's the only thing I noticed from the game. I don't put much blame on the Raiders. That was just a great play by Fitz Magic.
All right, so that's a good transition into our second topic, which is Tua got pulled pretty late in the game. Was it third or fourth quarter? I can't remember, but
I think it was fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter,
Early fourth quarter.
Which we've already seen. I think it's been twice now that they have pulled Tua out in crunch time situations, close. He wasn't playing fantastic, but I think as a young quarterback, especially rookie quarterback, that ruins someone's confidence. So like Jonathan is pulling him like this, damaging his confidence. It's great that it worked out in the end. They got the win, but is it damaging to his future?
Yeah, for sure. I think it is. Actually, in high school, I played with two quarterbacks, and they rotated actually. And we had one really good quarterback, but because he had to rotate with another quarterback that was a year younger than him, his confidence started to lower. He started to get yelled at more, right? Because he thought he wasn't as good as that other quarterback. He was always being compared, right? That's how it works. You have to, establish a leader on the team. You can't have two leaders. That's not like that. These quarterbacks are alpha males, and they're not going to sit back and watch another quarterback win or play. If that happens, they're going to lose their confidence, right? But I think Tua, he's learning a lot from Fitzpatrick. So it's great that he's on the same team as him, but the coaches are just being indecisive, and it's hurting the team, to be honest with you. It's hurting the team. So I just hope that Tua can continue to do what he's been doing. He shouldn't lose confidence from this, but I know naturally it may happen, seeing Fitzpatrick just play incredible like this.
Do you think if they started Fitzpatrick when they beginning of the game that it would have even been that close?
Yeah, I think Fitzpatrick would have won him the game earlier. Yeah. He's just too football savvy. I think he would have won him the game earlier. Look, Tua's still learning the game. It's just his first year. He's still learning the game. He's still learning the plays. So you can't ask him to do incredible things like Fitzpatrick has been doing. That's just how it goes. It's too much plays in the NFL.
Yeah, but this is your future. I mean, yeah. I agree. I mean, we're both. I don't think there's anybody that would disagree with us when we say that it wasn't right for them to pull Tua in these games. Obviously, it just lowers his confidence. And what do you think's going to happen when you get to the playoffs? For you to blow out a team in the playoffs, either you have to be the Chiefs or you have to be the Patriots with Brady. So when they get into the playoffs, which they probably will, they're going to play a game, the wild card round, and it's going to be a close game. So what are you going to do when it gets to the second half? At halftime, you're going to be like, well, Tua, we might pull you. So how do you think he's going to feel like when he's going into the fourth quarter and there's like a commercial timeout and it's a tie game? He's probably sitting on the sideline looking at the iPad. He's like, am I doing this for nothing? Like, do I even have to study this? Because I don't even know, they might just put Fitzpatrick in right now. So he gets no experience in these close games. I'd rather you get him experience in the close games and lose and not make the playoffs. And then you come back the next year even stronger. It's all about these teams that are winning these Super Bowls are younger quarterbacks, and you just need to develop him as fast as you can, and they're just limiting that.
I don't know though. I might be in my own corner here, but so I was when we talked about this on the episode, I was, to be fair, disappointed to see Fitz Magic benched because I think he had the hot hand, and he actually has proven that when he's in, he's got a hot hand still. But I think everyone knows that Fitzpatrick is he's playing really well, but we know that Tua is probably the future. It's kind of a given. At the same time, though, I don't know. It's like, as a football team, I might be hypocritical if you take some of a, because I did say, and I do agree with, they got to be consistent in who they start every week. In a way, though, I think they have been. I think there's never been question of Tua not being the starter. It's just if he's not performing, you have another great quarterback. My thinking here, and this is where I think I'm in the minority, but there was one of the commentators mentioned that there's never been a football team that succeeded with kind of two quarterbacks alternating. And I think that's fair. But in the back of my head, I was also wondering, there's got to be someone who's going to be the first, and you look at the team like the Dolphins and even the Bears, and there is some consistency in the alternating. So it's not like, oh, he is a bad player. Oh, he's like off today. Just put him in. They're using Fitzpatrick kind of like a relief pitcher, kind of like you have this great quarterback who's playing well on your team. What in the business of the NFL, are you? I think that as a team, do you want to be winning or developing? I think one of the best ways to develop a quarterback is to show them what it takes to win. Like you have to become the guy who is, you don't need the relief pitcher. You need to show the organization what you win. Like you see, like you look at the Jets, who like you can argue we're tanking, or the Jaguars. Like losing that much affects the culture, even if you like get a good draft pick next year. So I look at both of those teams, and we mentioned this at the beginning of the season, that we might see this, a trend of teams starting to invest a lot into backup quarterbacks. And it's been proven true, Look at it, Hurts and Wentz, and then the situation with the Dolphins, situation with, I mean, even the Jaguars. Just, I feel like something I've observed this season is that they're the superstars, people we can name, and people wear their jerseys and kids want to be. But then there's like, uh, this is gonna be mean to say it, but like we look at sort of mid-tier quarterbacks who are franchise paid level money. I think of like, and this is no disrespect, but I think of like Kirk Cousins or Matt Ryan, like quarterbacks who are good and can win games, but they're the only guy you got back there. And then you're starting to see maybe this year a trend of two good quarterbacks who you're starting to feel out, And my whole point is someone's got to be the first, and the Bears and the Dolphins are still playoff contending, whereas some of these other teams I just mentioned aren't. So I like the consistency of Tua being the starter, but the pressure of, you got to show with the organization that you want to win. That's the best way to develop someone, is to show you that we as a team want to win. I can't help but respect it. I feel bad for Fitzpatrick. At the same time, I want Tua to develop, but it's like teams have paid all these players all this money, and the fans come to watch the game. I don't know if you guys saw what JJ Watt said, and it's like on some level you got to play the best you can. And I kind of respect the Dolphins kind of carefully choosing when to put Fitzpatrick in to try to win games, the most games it can win.
So would you say that this isn't damaging to Tua at all?
It definitely can be. I look at how you could make a real argument how Wentz regressed with the drafting of Hurts. This is like that makes a psychological pressure. But then in other quarterbacks, it makes them improve. Look at Aaron Rodgers. They drafted a quarterback for him, and maybe that lit something under him. I was thinking with Brady, Garoppolo became a quarterback who made it to the Super Bowl, but that seemed to never phase Brady. So I think it can hurt players, but you see, like, not every team can land a Hall of Fame quarterback, and you can win a Super Bowl without a Hall of Fame quarterback. So you might start to see more experimentation. But I think Tua's got it in him for sure. It's just like I've said this on other podcasts. I think we're trying to push young quarterbacks too early to starting. Like before, it was kind of known that you get the quarterback and have him sit for a year, learn the ropes, then put him in. Now we're all about immediate results, immediate returns, and maybe that's hurting quarterbacks more than it's helping them.
Last question before we move on to the
Sure.
last NFC spot. And this could be to anybody, but I forgot the question. What was it? It was a good one. Hang on, let me think of it. So can someone give me an explanation, like a good explanation, as to why they're pulling Tua in these late situations? Is it because of not believing in him, not trusting him, or is it we have a chance to win the playoffs or to get to the playoffs, and if Tua's not doing it, we gotta switch it up and put Fitzpatrick in so that we can win this game? Like, I feel like they're trying to do two things. They're trying to develop him, and they're also trying to make the playoffs. And it's like you can tell that the playoffs are kind of going above growing Tua. So what reason do you have, John, for pulling a young rookie quarterback that could potentially win them the playoffs, or win the game and get to the playoffs? Like, the game was tight. He could have won that.
Right. Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head. I think they're trying to get to the playoffs. They know they haven't made the playoffs in a while. Brian Flores, as a new coach, he really wants to get there, lead this team to the playoffs. So the GM, everybody believes in him, all the fan base and everything. And I think that's what they're doing. He's he's seeing throughout the game. I don't think Tua can get this done. And he tried it once before and it worked with Fitzpatrick. So he's like, I'm trying to get into the playoffs. I don't think he's thinking about the playoffs at all. He's not thinking, okay, what happens in the first game of the playoffs when it's a close game? What am I going to do? He's just like, I just want to win this game. And, there's magic in this other guy's blood on the bench. So let me put him in. So I think you hit it right on the head. He's not thinking long term. He's literally just thinking, I need to win this game. So what can I do?
Mm-hmm. Plus, I mean, you could maybe argue it's been good coaching in that they're still in the playoff race, and Tua's been getting some starts.
I do disagree with the decision, but I do respect like the guts it takes to just pull Fitz when he's on a hot streak, and then pull Tua in the middle of a game like 3 times. And I think it worked out almost every time that he pulled him.
Right. That's the weird thing.
Yeah, Flores is impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the last NFC spot. So there's 3 teams competing for the last spot. Or could 2 of them make it? We'll see. So who's getting the last spot? Rams, Cardinals, or Bears? Those are the 3 teams fighting for spots in the playoffs. Everybody else is signed, delivered as far as wild card.
Wild card, right.
The NFC East is a different story.
Right.
Got it, folks. We'll get to it in a
okay.
moment. But here are the scenarios for this playoff spot.
So for the Chicago Bears, they have a 75.3% chance to make the playoffs. They'll either need to beat the Packers in Week 17 or have the Cardinals lose to the Rams in order to secure their postseason spot.
Okay.
So
if the Bears win, they control their destiny and keep going. For the Rams, I'll look it up. So let's take a look here.
So complicated. I mean,
this is like...
I'm looking at a scenario with the AFC spot.
Okay.
Like, that's even more confusing because we got like 5 teams there.
I got it. So Rams have an 87.3% chance to make the playoffs. And, okay, so let's see. They failed to clinch a playoff berth this weekend in losing to the Seahawks. They'll now need either a win in Week 17 or a loss by the Bears to do so. If the Rams lose and the Bears win, LA will miss the postseason after entering Week 16 with a 96.2% chance to make the playoffs.
So the Cardinals have the tiebreaker over the Rams if they beat them.
Gotcha.
It's a good thing I had this pulled up. I knew it would be complicated.
It is so complicated. I would honestly feel really bad if the Rams didn't make it, but I think it would be just a cool story if Trubisky could just win a playoff game for the Bears after what happened, the double doink. They were so close.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be a nice story to have them win at least one game. Even making the playoffs is nice. So if I had to guess, this is what if I had to guess, this is what would happen. Cardinals, Rams make it. I don't think the Bears will win because the Packers have incentive, but I would love Cardinals win, Bears win. They both make it. Rams get kicked out. And the Cardinals, man, I know I've been on them for a while, but I'm scared. Man. That last game was bad. That was a bad performance by Kyler. It was a bad performance by Cliff Kingsbury. That offense was just dumb. Like, it was just really dumb. It was not like they're used to. Man, if you saw, the game against the Seahawks where they won, like, that offense is gone. Like, I don't know what happened, but it is completely gone. Kyler does not keep the ball in the red zone at all. He doesn't run the ball. Like, it sucks because they were such a fun offense to watch. And now it's like they've gone conservative and they're trying to make Kyler throw the ball in the pocket. And I hate to say it, but he's just not a pocket passer yet. Like, without that run threat, he can just step back and he can't really find anyone to throw to. So it sucks. I am worried about the Cardinals when it comes to the playoffs.
Well, I bring up the Cardinals in the sense that, I feel like the way the news is coming out about Kyler's injury, it feels like he's going to play, but at least at the time of when we're recording this, Tuesday night, there's a chance that he doesn't. So then we're looking at the backup for the Rams and the backup from the Cardinals. and that becomes a much like that just becomes a 50-50
What a
toss up to
what a
me.
crazy
I-
scenario. That's
Right?
2020 scenario. Two
Yeah.
backup quarterbacks battling for a playoff spot.
And yeah, and it's like so. I mean, the easiest way to understand this is that if between the Rams, the Bears, and the Cardinals, if they win, they basically control their destiny.
Right.
It's just between the Rams and the Cardinals, one of them ain't gonna win, you know.
Right.
So, or then you start to look at maybe if you're the Rams, you need help. But that's just the easiest way to understand it. But that being said, if it's the Rams backup and the Cardinals backup, that's just a toss up for me. I do kind of I lean towards the Bears losing to the Green Bay, unless it's a at that point if I'm Green Bay, if you win, you clinch home field advantage, I believe as well, right? And the bye, so that's big motivators. But then again, you don't want to risk injuries at this point. I think they're probably going to play hard and want to win that one. But that being said, you're paying the Bears who have literally win or go home status, basically.
Right.
They would need the Cardinals to lose, but that's basically your mindset if you want to control your destiny. That I wouldn't rule the Bears out. I mean, Aaron Rodgers played out of his mind, definitely MVP candidate. But my point is, these are going to be two fun games to watch because everyone's got something to lose, and that's when you see some of the most hardest hitting fun football.
Right.
And it's the last week of the season, so I think
So
it's a fun time
you
to be a
agree
football
with Jared and I that it's going to be Rams and Cardinals?
fan. Probably. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want the Bears to get in for the story. Plus, I said they weren't the imposter in the imposter episode, so I want to be right.
Yeah.
But I mean, that would change the story for Trubisky because a couple of weeks ago he said he was gonna. We all agreed that he'd be probably looking at a backup, and if he ends up winning and leading to the playoffs, I mean that changes the story a bit.
And Jonathan, what do you think?
Wait, so just to clarify, Aaron Rodgers is playing this weekend, and Packers have something to play for this weekend.
Right. Yeah. Because if they
Okay.
lose, they could not get the first round bye. So they do have something to play for.
Yeah.
Or they need help with the first round bye, right? Because
Yeah, they would.
Saints and Seahawks are 11-4. They'd need to both lose, and the Packers would be safe.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't trust Trubisky to be consistent and play well this game. Last game he had a great game, but I don't think he's going to do well against the Packers. So yeah, I believe with you, and I agree rather with you and Jared. I think Rams and Cardinals will take the wild cards. Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for Bears to pull this through.
Yeah, I think that'd be the biggest upset because then the only way I can see something else happening is if Kyler does play and he's compromised with that injury, like Jared, you were saying, they haven't looked like themselves. Then maybe that's another upset. The Rams end up winning, with the backup quarterback. That's I don't know. Again, it's the last.
I'm gonna be honest. If I put money on it, I would lean towards the Rams because of that defense.
Yeah. I was gonna say that when you have two backups in, you just go to the defense. Whatever defense is better, that's who's probably gonna win.
Yeah. Between Chicago and Packers, which one do you guys think has the better defense?
Definitely the Packers.
Yeah.
I mean, their run defense isn't great, but they did pretty well against Henry.
Right. That was
It's
something
because
else.
of Lambeau. When teams come into Lambeau, they can't play.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So that's why they're gonna want that home field advantage. They're gonna want that first round bye. Imagine if everybody has to go through Lambeau Field for the playoff. It's gonna be tough.
Yes.
No fans either. I feel like it's gonna be even like you're cold in a place that's not your home, and there's no one to like hype you up on the sideline.
Yeah.
It's just a pure mental game.
There's like family with like signs and stuff.
Yeah, and the Packers are used to playing it, so it's like
Weird.
I think that's part of the New England dynasty is like so many times you had to go to the cold north, and some of those southern players are not used to that weather.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be fun.
All right. Now that we got the wild card out of the way for the NFC, let's move into the division that we've talked about the most this season. Out of any division, the NFC East, the NFC least, as we called it.
No.
So let's look, folks. The Cowboys have a chance to win the division.
No, they
Yes.
don't.
Disgusting
Yes.
sentence.
We haven't talked about the Cowboys for so many weeks, and it's been great. Jonathan hasn't opened up about Dak or Zeke or Cooper or CeeDee Lamb for weeks.
There's been peace throughout the land.
And now folks, you're gonna hear about 10 weeks worth of Cowboys nonsense.
Bottling it up. Just waiting.
Like he's been waiting for so long. Let's go through the scenarios and then we'll get to Jonathan.
Mhm.
So, if you're a Washington fan, here's what you guys need to do. Win against
You guys need Alex Smith to play, otherwise.
Yeah. Win against the Eagles and you're in.
Mhm.
Giants win against the Cowboys and a Washington loss. Same with the Cowboys. Win against the Giants. They need a Washington loss. So Washington is the only team that controls their own destiny.
Mhm.
Jonathan, I'm going to let you go first, and then I'm going to let John go first.
Mhm.
Who do you think's winning the division?
Guys, the Cowboys are going to win this division.
Oh my
God. Andy Dalton came to Dallas. He didn't know the playbook too well. In the first 2 games, he was struggling a little and not playing his best. But now he knows the playbook. Now he knows
he
players.
Now,
He's
all
ready.
of a sudden, he got an epiphany. He knows
Yes.
it.
Yes. I'm telling you, it takes weeks to learn this NFL playbook. And
It's been
he's learned it.
months.
He knows the pieces he has. He knows how his receivers like running routes. CD Lamb, Amari Cooper. He has Zeke in the backfield. Guys, this offense is explosive again. This offense is dangerous again. And I'm telling you, the Cowboys are ready to make some moves in the playoffs. I think we'll definitely win the NFC East. Are you kidding me? Washington,
Whoa.
Dwayne Haskins lost you the division, basically. Just like he's been losing you games all season. So, tough luck.
They got rid of him though, so maybe
Yeah, they got rid of him.
Maybe that bad luck is gone.
Yeah, maybe
Wait,
that's the final.
Jonathan, did I hear that correctly that you're going to make some moves in the playoffs?
Yes, we're going to upset people.
Playoffs?
Yeah, I
We're
think we're
talking
going to
about
upset people.
playoffs?
Cowboys and playoffs don't go in the same sentence. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Not in 20 years.
Our offense is just so good, too explosive, really unstoppable if you think about it.
What?
No.
Oh my
No,
god.
it's back. It's back.
Dude, it's Andy Dalton. He crunches under pressure. He's just horrible. So all I can say is I can't believe the Giants are gonna win the division. I just can't believe that it came down to this. To be honest, we could make a whole video over how many times I switched. I went from Cowboys are just going to win the division. Eagles are going to win the division. Washington's going to win. And Eagles are now going to win. Giants are going to. I'm back on the Giants. They're going to win the division.
This is your final answer.
Final answer. Ding it in
Lock
right
it in.
there.
Yeah.
It's going to be the New York Giants because, first of all, Alex Smith is going to have to play on one leg because they can't start Haskins and they can't start Henneke or whatever his name is because they both suck. And the Eagles, to be honest, I think Alex Smith is going to play because Washington knows if he doesn't play, they have zero chance. So might as well put him out there on one leg and see if he could throw a ball. Secondly, Terry McLaurin is dealing with a high ankle sprain, so he's not going to play. They're going to say he's questionable all week. He's not going to end up playing. So now you have your top receiver out. Gibson is, that toe is still lingering, and you got Alex Smith on one leg, and then you got the Eagles on the other hand, who Jalen Hurts is trying to prove himself. So Eagles are going to win that game. So now that the Washington football team loses, the winner of the Giants and Cowboys gets into the playoffs. Last time the Giants and Cowboys played, we know what happened with Dak, but Cedric Wilson had to throw a touchdown pass to Dak. You guys had to get creative and go deep in the playbook, and you only won by 3 or 4 points. I mean, you guys have to pull tricks out of your freaking ass to win this game. I don't know where you're going to find more tricks because this Giants defense is pretty darn good. We held the Baltimore Ravens to 27 points. That's pretty good.
Well, if you saw last game, Zeke's back to his normal self. And we have Pollard, who's been playing out of his mind all season. So we have 2 legit running backs that can run the ball well. Our receivers, we know what they can do, right? CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper.
I'm telling you, in these situations, which quarterback do you trust more, Daniel Jones or Andy Dalton? That's not even a question.
Andy Dalton has the experience. Are you kidding me? Daniel Jones?
Experience in pressure type games. Daniel Jones has no experience, but at least we don't know if he could win or lose. We know Dalton loses all these type of games. So
No, he's had a bad coach in his career. In most of his
And
career.
and McCarthy's not a bad coach.
He's slightly better. He's slightly better than what he had with the Bengals.
That's
All
fair.
he needed was
McCarthy's won a
a
Super
decent
Bowl.
coach.
Let's give Caleb some time. The Washington football team has to lose to the Eagles first. So Caleb, can the
I know
Eagles muster up a win?
they're listening closely, all the Eagles players, to see if I can give them the go to win this game.
Unleash.
'Cause I'll tell you, as an Eagles fan, I mean, I because of my disdain for the Cowboys above all, then almost the Giants. Part of me is like, maybe we should just lose this one. Let Washington. It's been a while.
Can you imagine?
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. My initial reaction, because I'm a little surprised that you guys are giving this to the Eagles so eagerly. I'm an Eagles fan, and I'm a little nervous to play Washington.
The defense.
Well, it's like I've said this throughout the whole season, so I'm not like trying to be right here. Obviously, the Eagles are eliminated, so now we're just kind of playing for, I think seeing after. I know you mentioned Jalen Hurts playing to prove himself. I think we were right last week when most of us said we were going to keep Carson next season. So at this point, we're playing to at least keep people out. But there's that part of me that's like, I don't want to give the Giants or Cowboys a chance. And I've said it throughout the whole season is like, don't underestimate Washington football team. That defense, Rivera. I mean, to be honest, my initial reaction, my gut reaction is to give it to Washington. So if they win, I mean, everyone else is going home.
How Slinky Linky at quarterback.
I don't. That's a fair point. If Smith plays though, I think they get it. But I don't. It's funny because we've talked about this division so much. It hasn't gotten this intense until literally the last game of the season, where it's all on the line. So I love it. I'm here for it.
Giants, and the Giants are at home. Oh my gosh! I just realized they're at home. That's an automatic win.
I like Andy. I like Andy. Don't even bother playing. It's just I like Andy Dalton though. He has played. I always liked him, but he's played better than I've expected. Like he's a. I think he has gotten a bit of better grip on the that offense. But my concern is I think the Cowboys might have more defensive flaws than the Giants.
Did you see the cornerback for the Eagles? I forget his name. It was something with an S, like something with a Q in it or something. He gave up.
Sudfeld.
What was it?
Nate Sudfeld.
No, that's the quarterback. It was cornerback.
Oh, corner.
Yeah, corner. I forget his name, but he let up. Okay, they targeted him, like the receiver he was covering. They targeted that receiver like 10 times. He gave up like 9 catches, 183 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It was the worst performance by a cornerback.
Oh, Gallup.
What was it?
Michael Gallup, Dallas Cowboys receiver.
Well, he was the receiver, I think. But yeah, this cornerback was covering him, and he couldn't.
Slay,
he just couldn't.
Coleman, Singleton, Mills, Kayvon Wallace.
No,
through the depth chart here.
Something with an S.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay,
I don't know.
You can say your point.
Wasn't his fault though.
Anyway, he just couldn't cover Gallup, and the Eagles, like we said all season, nobody knows how to make in-game adjustments this year, so they just let Gallup keep scoring. And the Giants don't have any bad cornerbacks. I'm sorry to say, their secondary is good, so you better watch out. Dalton's not going to be. I guarantee you, 100% guarantee, Dalton throws at least 1 interception, probably 2.
All right, now here's
he
an
may throw
interesting
one
question.
interception. He may throw one, but I don't think Daniel Jones and the Giants offense will be able to keep up with the Cowboys scoring.
Are you kidding me?
That's going to happen.
Have you forgotten about Sterling Shepard? He got 7 catch targets, like 77 yards and a touchdown. He didn't play the last time we played the Cowboys. So and we only lost by 4 points. Now we have our best receiver.
Evan Engram, Pro Bowler.
Yeah. Wayne
You
Gallman.
have all these players. Okay.
Alfred Morris. Have you forgotten about Alfred?
You're not that dude. Okay, come on.
You remember when you said that?
The Cowboys are going to dominate the Giants. I'm telling you.
All right.
Gosh,
I have an interesting question. What time are these games? Okay, I have it.
So the Cowboys Giants are first, and then Washington.
Yeah. So that's a game to watch, but then you have to hope that Washington loses at the 8:20 game, right?
Now,
on Sunday.
I think what's going to happen?
Hours of
if Dallas wins the game, the Eagles are going to be watching it, and they're going to be like, okay, Dallas won, so we have to lose because
gotta
there's
tank
no
for
way
the
we're
bet-
letting
for-
Dallas get into the playoffs.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
But if Giants win, the Eagles are like, okay, the Giants, they've been pretty nice to us, so
it's less
Let's-
of a rivalry than the Cowboys. Still a rivalry, don't get me wrong, but it's Cowboys or Giants. Yeah, I'm kind of on board.
All right, we're gonna need final answers before we move on to the next topic. Final answers. Jonathan, John, go first, and then Caleb and I will go. So, Jonathan, who's gonna win the NFC East?
NFC East winner will be the Dallas Cowboys for sure.
John.
NFC East champion, New York Giants. Finally, we break through.
Caleb?
My pick, Washington football team.
Oh,
I'm literally the tiebreaker.
What's your pick?
say Philadelphia Eagles.
I gotta stick with my team. I've been sticking with them for like the second half of the season. The New York Giants. will win
Yes.
the East.
Ah,
Oh, come on.
Jabril Peppers. Gonna be a
Oh, okay.
all
right.
right.
Enough about the NFC East. Let's finally move on to the AFC wild card spot. There is one division, I forget what it's called, but it's the Titans and the Colts division that still is up for grabs. But we're going to look right now at the situations.
Mhm.
The teams that we're looking at are Browns, Dolphins, Ravens, Titans, and Colts. I know it's a lot. I know it's hard to understand. Bear with me here. For the Colts, right now they're on the outside looking in. They need one team to lose and to win against the Jaguars. The Browns face the Steelers. If they win, they're in. If Ravens beat the Bengals, they're in. If the Dolphins face the Bills, they're in. And obviously, if the Titans beat the Texans, they're in. So, looking at that schedule, we just saw today that the Steelers will not play Ben Roethlisberger. That is huge for the Browns because before that point, in my opinion, I saw the Colts making it and the Browns actually going out of the playoffs, which would be so devastating after the year that they've had. But now that Mason Rudolph is going to be starting for the Steelers, I'm leaning towards maybe the Dolphins getting out of the playoffs. Unfortunately, they face the Bills. We still don't know if they're going to rest starters for the Bills, but I have to go off of what I'm seeing currently at the moment, and they're not going to rest anybody. The Bills are way, way too dominant to lose to the Dolphins. And I actually see the Colts sneaking in and beating the Jaguars easily and moving into that last wild card spot. So Dolphins fans, I'm sorry, but you're going to miss the playoffs this year after all the QB back and forth, and it's just not going to end well, and the Colts will make the playoffs.
So this is very interesting. Like Jared said, one thing that's super interesting, and I said it a few weeks ago when I was saying, we were breaking down who's going to be in, who's going to be out. I said there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be tied around the end. And we have the Titans in the last division spot. They could still lose the division and not make the playoffs.
To the Colts, right?
Yeah, so they're 10-5, Dolphins 10-5, Ravens 10-5, Browns 10-5, Colts 10-5. I mean, there's still so much to sort out here.
Yeah.
So we have to go through, like I said in the NFC, we have to look at the top. Who are these teams playing, and is there anybody at the top of the AFC that is going to rest players? Like Jared said, the Steelers are resting Roethlisberger and a couple other starters. They haven't named who, but they're not playing Roethlisberger. So Mason Rudolph is starting. So that's a Browns win. So Browns are going to win. They're going to get into the playoffs. Now, what I think is going to happen, the Titans are going to play the Texans. And last time they played, it actually went into overtime. And Derrick Henry got the touchdown. It was close.
Right.
But this is a game I think the Titans are going to win again. I know it was close last time. They're going to run Derrick Henry through the ground. He's going to have 200 yards and 2 touchdowns again. I'm calling it right now. He's going to just absolutely destroy them because the Titans need to win this game. If they lose, they could be out of the playoffs. So they're going to play their heart out. They're going to make sure they win this game. So now Titans stay in the lead in the division. Browns, I think, beat the Steelers. Now we have to look at Ravens, who are in the playoffs as of now. They play the Bengals. Okay, that's a win. They're getting in. So now we have Dolphins and Colts. Those are the two teams left. One of those teams is getting in. If they both win, the Dolphins have the tiebreaker. Now, what I think is going to happen is that right now we don't know who the Bills are going to rest, if they're going to rest anybody. What I think is going to happen is as this week progresses, the Bills are going to hold off news. They're not going to say anything of who they're going to start, who they're going to rest. The Steelers are going to progressively increase their list of who they're going to sit. So right now it's just Roethlisberger. They're going to go say TJ Watt is not going to play. They're going to go say Juju and Deontay Johnson, and all these guys are not going to play. And then what's going to happen around Friday, Saturday, maybe even Sunday morning, the Bills are going to release, we're not starting Diggs, we're not starting Allen, because they know the Browns are probably going to win that game. And if the Browns win that game, the Bills stay second in the AFC. They still get the second spot. Worst case scenario, Browns pull off or Steelers still win the game. And the Bills, so what? They move to the third spot. Who knows what's going to happen in the wild card with all those 5 teams that are 10-5. So they're like, it's not like they're like, oh, if we win, we get to play this team. It could be any of the 5 teams. Nobody knows. So why put your players in if you like to get a better seed? If anyway, it could be any of those teams. Like there's no incentive. So
Yeah.
Bills are going to rest players, which means Dolphins are going to win. I also think Colts beat the Jaguars, but I hate to say it. The Colts, who I loved all season, I said they were going to be a dark horse team back in April when we started on TikTok.
Don't
I
tell
said
me
Philip.
that.
What?
Don't tell me.
I know. I'm sorry. In April, I remember saying the Colts are going to be the dark horse team because Philip Rivers is going to be the best quarterback with the new team. And it's going to come back to haunt them. The first game of the season, they lost 27-21 to the Jaguars. The Jaguars' only win of the season. And that's going to come back to haunt them. And it's horrible that it will. But I think that's what's going to happen.
Before Caleb, you say anything,
Yeah.
we got to remember the Browns lost to the Jets because of COVID. I just looked it up. They put 3 more players on the COVID list. John, do you think that affects the game against the Steelers?
I think by the time Sunday comes around, they'll have most of those players back. I think Jarvis Landry, a bunch of these receivers, they're going to be testing them every day. They're going to make sure they're on the field because all they have to do is test negative 2 consecutive days or whatever. I think they're going to make sure they're back on the field and for that game and win.
Okay.
It's crazy that there's 5 10-5 teams because we look at the NFC and how sorry the situation is for some of those wild cards. It's almost out of these 5 teams, it's almost you're sad one of them has you're not going to get to play. Get to see them playing in a higher stakes situation. But excuse me, I'm looking at the division standings right now. I don't know what you guys think, but I feel like it's more likely that the Colts actually beat the Jaguars and the Titans lose, and then they would take the division title. Am I right about that?
Yeah,
So,
that could definitely happen.
Because Houston, I think, wants to bring Tennessee down again, or at least not again, but like bring them down. Because when you're eliminated from the playoffs, there's that part of you that's just like, I'm going to bring someone down with me. I don't think the Jags are suited to do that against the Colts. And I think Philip Rivers has, not to say he's a top quarterback in the league, but he's actually played really well. They've treated him really well, got a good defense over there. I like the Colts to maybe win that title spot more than the Titans, because the Titans, I've said this in a few podcasts, but they've lost in big ways in weird games. Like Derrick Henry did not play well against, it's the Green Bay Packers, but they were kind of known for not having a great run defense, and yet they totally shut him out. So the consistency issues with Tennessee, I feel like Watson's going to exploit that. And then you add the Colts, Jags. Jags already clinched the number 1 pick, right? So they might be playing hard, but I feel like the Colts are better off to defend them. And then you get into the wild card scenarios. I think, it's interesting with the COVID stuff, Jared, you were saying, because that changes a little bit. I don't think
Changes a lot.
Yeah, I think the quarterback situation alone, we said it, where it's like the way the Steelers are right now, if Big Ben doesn't play well, the team doesn't play well. If he's not playing at all, I don't think Rudolph can carry that team. So at least with the run game that Cleveland has, I kind of give them that. So then what are you looking at? Baltimore probably winning against the Bengals?
Yeah.
Probably. Then the only other variable is what Buffalo does against Miami. Is one thing I'm curious about. Like you said, John, they might end up resting players because something you guys can help me with is why would they? Because Kansas City has 14 wins, Buffalo and Pittsburgh have 12. So basically, they don't have a chance to get home field advantage. Like they clinched. So now
Right.
what are they playing for other than just
They're just playing to get the second seed just in case it comes down. Let's say the Bills have to play the Steelers, they'll have home field instead of the Steelers.
Oh, okay. So they do have something there
So they
though.
something.
But is it worth risking your starters? Is like
Right.
kind of what you're starting to ask. And the Steelers aren't.
Right.
So and now Big Ben's a little older though. So I feel like maybe it's likely that Allen they keep him in for me for a half just to see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm looking if I'm okay, so my not to give a non-answer, but I feel like I don't know, looking at Buffalo, Buffalo is one of the best teams in the league right now. If they play at even partial strength, I feel like they beat Miami. I mean, I like Miami a lot. I want to see them. I'd like to see Flores get coach of the year. I've been saying it for a while. I think he's been pretty good. I also want to see the Colts win. So it's a tough one. I feel like yeah.
Got to pick them. Pick a team. You
I
have
feel
to
like yeah, I think
do it.
you know, I think this isn't likely, but I think it's what's going to happen. Doesn't make sense, but it's like I think I'm going with my heart instead of my head. But I think the Tennessee drops out. I think Tennessee drops out.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So Tennessee
So
loses.
Miami wins and Tennessee loses. Colts win.
Ooh.
And that's enough, right? Yeah.
Whoa.
Right. Yeah, that would be enough for Titans to drop out.
I'm going for it.
Jonathan,
Lock-
give us your thoughts.
So I think Titans are gonna win. And they're gonna win out, and that's gonna be the team. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if Titans win, I don't know if do they play the Bills or something. I don't know.
No, they would play. They would play the first wild card. So which right
Okay.
now is the Dolphins.
right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in terms of the Chiefs have the first round bye.
Right.
The Bills are number 2, right?
Right.
Yes.
So who would they play? I'm just curious.
So the Chiefs would play the last wild card spot, which right now is the Browns, and the Bills would play the second to last wild card, which right now is the Ravens.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
All right, well,
mind-boggling.
I think the Titans, I think they're gonna win out. They were here last year. They upset the Ravens. They know how to get there. I think the Titans want to go back. They know that they have a great team. Derrick Henry, Tannehill's been playing pretty well this season. Titans belong in the playoffs, and I think they're gonna find a way to get in there.
What about the Dolphins, Ravens? Who's going out? Who's missing the playoff?
So I think Dolphins. They're gonna miss the playoffs.
Okay.
Dolphins are gonna miss the playoffs.
So you think the Dolphins are going to lose to the Bills?
Dolphins are gonna lose to the Bills. Yeah. And Josh Allen's playing, right?
Well, they didn't say that. They didn't say that.
That's the thing. We don't know.
Okay. I still think Dolphins are gonna lose.
Yeah.
They're indecisive, and their indecisiveness is gonna cause them to miss the playoffs.
I would say Dolphins if I wasn't biased, but I am. So I'm locking in the Titans. But I respect that pick a lot.
So my pick is that it stays the exact same how it is. All the 10-5 teams become 11-5, so the Colts are out.
Okay.
Jonathan says Dolphins go 10-6 and drop out. Caleb says Titans go 10-6 and drop out. Jared, do you have different than any of us, or?
No, I said Dolphins lose to the Bills and Colts sneak in.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really like the Colts. I like how balanced it is. They have a run game, they have a pass game, their running backs can catch passes, and they have a stellar defense. It would be a shame if they miss the playoffs.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to our coaches on the hot seat. This is a good one. We got one more week left, and there's still some coaches that need to be fired. I'm just going to put it out there. Adam Gase, number one. I feel like it's on all of them. Dude should not have a job right now. I swear, they're generous. The Jets over there are generous with Adam Gase. But we're going to talk about the coaches that are on the hot seat right now. We've had a lot of fires during this NFL season, but still some of these coaches have jobs. I'll start with my team, the Chargers, Anthony Lynn.
Yes.
Dude,
Yeah,
What?
you're right.
my friend,
Oh no.
my friend Abood, he told me this. He's from Massachusetts. He's a Patriots fan, and when the Chargers made the playoffs and the Patriots beat them, he's like, you know what? You have a great team, but that coach, Anthony Lynn, sucks. You need to get a new coach. And I'm like, dude, he just made the playoffs. He beat the Ravens. Like, are you kidding? Why would we get a new coach? We're on the up. Oh boy, was I wrong. It has become so bad. The players have been going up, but the wins have still been steady and going down. We had 3 wins last time. Now we have 5 or 6 wins now. Like, it's just not good enough. And you have so many good players. If you ask me what we needed, I would probably say like maybe linebacker or cornerback. But like even then, if you look at our cornerbacks, Chris Harris Jr., Casey Hayward, then we have Derwin James. Derwin James was out this year, but Derwin James, Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram on each side. Like, what more could you ask out of a defense? And then you go to the offense, you have rookie of the year Justin Herbert. Then you have Mike Williams, a huge deep threat. And
Wait,
he's
whoa.
one of the
Did you
best.
did you just give rookie of the year to Justin Herbert?
Yeah, dude, the guy has the most passing touchdowns in a rookie season, so it's obvious. But regardless, this guy hasn't done anything. He has the freaking rookie of the year with quarterback, and he's still in his mind trying to run the ball with nobody. We didn't have Eckler for almost the whole season, and he's trying to run the ball with Balash. He's trying to run the ball with Justin Jackson and Joshua Kelly. These guys aren't established running backs. You can't have
Right.
a running offense with inexperienced running backs, and the line is still not great. So that just doubles down on the fact that you can't run the ball. So you need to be a pass heavy offense, and it just does not get through his head. And his late calls are so bad. It's so bad. I can't even give another adjective to describe it other than bad. Like, it's just dumb. So I need him to be gone right now. I don't know who replaces him. I want freaking Lincoln Riley or something. I don't know, but just somebody that won't just waste Herbert's career like what Anthony Lynn is doing. The next one is near and dear to my heart, Doug Marrone. Doug Marrone is Syracuse University, former Syracuse University head coach. I've looked at him and personally, literally went to games and saw him coach. He's terrible. He's awful. The only reason that Doug Marrone is still coaching is because of that little tiny playoff run that they had. That lucky Fournette.
That was all because of Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson, Blake Bortles was playing out of his mind. It's not going to happen again. It will never happen again as long as Doug Marrone is there. So get Doug Marrone out of Jacksonville right now. It's the perfect time. Trevor Lawrence is coming in, and Doug Marrone is coming out, and we're going to have a new head coach, a new offensive coordinator, and you're going to start fresh with Trevor Lawrence. And I'm telling you right now, this team, similar to the Bengals of this year, I think could make a huge jump in wins if they make the right head coach, if they pick the right head coach, and they make sure that they keep that wide receiving core tight. DJ Chark, they drafted Colin Johnson. They got, what's the other guy? I can't pronounce his last name, but
Chenault
Jr. I like that. And their running back. They found a freaking diamond in the rough with James Robinson. So if you can keep that offense good, that's so similar to what the Bengals had this year with Joe Burrow. They had so many offensive weapons. They just got to find the right coach to make it all come together. So Doug Marrone, Anthony Lynn, see you later, buddies. Maybe try college football, but this is not for you.
Yeah, and you hit it on the head with Anthony Lynn. It comes down to the play calling. I mean, it's the same old story with the Chargers. It's every season.
Late in game, fourth quarter.
Every season we see this stat that comes on our screen at the end of the year, and it's like every game has been decided by one score, and it's like it's the epitome of playing to the level of your competition.
Yes, yes.
If it's a great team like the Chiefs, they'll play really well. If it's the Jaguars or the Broncos, they'll just play like shit. And the play calls will be shit and everything will be shit. They don't know how to motivate their players. They don't know how to make the right play calls. And it's like, oh, we're winning, so let's run the ball with crappy players and punt it. And then, oh, we're losing, let's just throw the ball downfield. And then they're like, oh wow, like they just don't understand like the concept of making smart play calls. There's no other way to explain it other than the fact that they don't know how to blow somebody out or lose by a lot. Like it's just every game is the same. Every game it's going to come down to the last possession, and they're happy. Apparently they're happy with that. I'm surprised he's not growing gray hairs already with the amount of stress he's putting himself under. But as far as Doug Marrone goes, I mean, when you think of Jacksonville, think of all the talent they've acquired. Allen Robinson, he started his career there. James Robinson, Leonard Fournette, Jalen Ramsey, all these AJ Boye, all these great players. So the upstairs is doing great, but this coaching, I mean, okay. So if you're the GM right now, you're like, okay, we're gonna get Trevor Lawrence. Do you really think Doug Marrone is gonna be the guy to lead you to a Super Bowl? No, he's not. So I agree with you. Get Anthony Lynn out of here. Get Doug Marrone out of here. If I was the Jaguars, I'd be calling Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator of the Chiefs. Get him over here right now. If there's anybody that can do it, it's him.
Anybody else want to chime in?
I mean, with just to clarify, with Bieniemy, where did you think he would go?
I think he should go to the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence.
It's Trevor Lawrence. Because there's also Herbert, and I think Herbert being with the Chargers, I think that's attractive for a new coach. I agree with the Jaguars situation, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little torn with Anthony Lynn because I know I'm in the minority here, but I feel a little torn on Anthony Lynn. I'll admit I haven't watched all the games, but I was looking up about how some very questionable fourth quarter decisions, blown leads. That's fair, but at the end of the day, I think he's still a good coach. And for the first two seasons, he had Phillip Rivers, who is not. I think he's a legend, but I say give him another year with Herbert and see what he can do. I mean, he led the 12-4 with Rivers at one point, right? And then a lot of the losses came from. I mean, it's a weird year for personnel. A lot of the losses came from special teams mistakes, as well as questionable coaching. But I think it's just a down year for him. I think he'd be a good coach. And now that he has a quarterback. Part of me just Jared's raising his hand right now. Part of me, and again, I'm probably more uninformed than this because Jared, you are a Chargers fan, but from what I've seen from Anthony Lynn, I think if you give him the right pieces, the right quarterback, most importantly, I say give him another year and see.
Let me try to persuade you for just 1 second. Last year we won 3 games with Phillip Rivers. So when we got rid of Phillip Rivers, I was so happy. Not because he was bad to the organization, but it's time to move on.
Needed new pastures. He's done pretty well with the Colts.
100%. We get Herbert, Tyrod Taylor, cool. Dude, it's the same freaking story over again, just a different quarterback, which can only mean one thing, that this coach is abysmal.
The reason why I'm not totally convinced is because they had so many close games. Like the record doesn't look pretty
sometimes though.
But like for the first season with a rookie quarterback, give him a year to develop with the coach who can get you close to those games. And they went overtime with the Chiefs when they were still undefeated. It's like my point is the pieces are there, and getting a new coach is going to reset a lot of your track to success. Because you got to give a coach honestly like 3 to 4 years to really see how they're going to pan out. But,
if you give him 3 to 4 years, and it's like, oh well,
that's
he
why
wasn't the right
one. I say
Okay.
1 more year for him.
If you give him 1 more year and it wasn't right, now
then I think I agree with your
you have the
there.
rookie of the year. Every year you have with this guy is like precious. Like
that's why I say 1 more year because that's my point. Is Anthony Lynn I think has been there 4 years total, 3. I mean, he went. I had it right here in a moment, but he's entering his 4th or 5th year. So it's like it's at that point where I say give him another year, see if it is a fluke. If it's not a fluke, then then you got to prove it. But because of the number of close games, because you've seen Herbert consistently play at a high level to win Rookie of the Year. I don't think it's like we think of these quarterbacks as being isolated where like you can put any coach there and they'll succeed. I mean, you see pieces there for Anthony Lynn. That's my point, is like give him a year, let Herbert build that relationship and see what happens. But I know I'm in the minority here.
Jonathan, tell me something I like to hear.
I mean, I completely agree with you, Jared. Anthony Lynn has to go. I know Jerry Jones is not going to fire Mike McCarthy after the first year, and the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs, so there's not going to be a need to.
Right. Of course.
Yeah. In terms of like, what other coaches are on the hot seat,
Right.
I definitely agree that the Jets, Adam Gase, he's definitely going to be gone. I'm trying to think of anybody else. People have been giving Doug Peterson a hard time this year, but obviously he's a really great coach, and that would be stupid for the Eagles to let him go. So I really think it's between Adam Gase, and Anthony Lynn. Cliff Kingsbury, you got to give him a couple more years before you let him go.
Right? Yeah.
So I think those are the only two true guys on the hot seat.
What about Gruden? You guys think Gruden's on the hot seat?
Yeah. Gruden.
Gruden?
No.
Yeah,
He's on the hot seat?
No.
They're not gonna let him go because he
soon.
still
Too
has.
soon.
Dude, they gave him a 10-year contract.
He still has the heart. He still has the heart from the old Super Bowl he won like years ago. So like they're not gonna let him go.
Okay. I just wanted to throw it out there, see what
They gave him a 10-year deal.
Yeah. That was
Yes,
like 3
it's
years
like
ago.
Mahomes level length.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
They're in for the long haul. Whatever it takes, it takes them.
Yeah.
Dude, that's brutal. Yeah, I would have said John Gruden, but
He wasn't under contract.
the only thing kind of holding that together is his relationship with Carr. It just like works perfectly. They're both like same-minded, and especially with Gruden's offense, you need a very intelligent, high IQ quarterback, and Carr is one of those guys, and it's pretty rare. So
I guess you need a better defense, maybe a better run. Well, they have a few pieces, but could be give them time. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, less conservative on those plays. They should have won that game.
They could have, but yeah. I mean, who would have thought Fitz Magic would be that magical though?
Oh man, surprise every time.
Did you guys see Mahomes tweet about it?
Oh yeah,
Mahomes tweeted like that is hands down. Like, what was his exact tweet? I can look it up. But Jared, do you know what I'm talking about?
yeah, it was like hands down, like one of the greatest throws or something, greatest no looks of all time or something.
No, he was looking on the big screen behind him.
He missed his helmet so much. He's like, oh, he's open. All right.
I think Shannon Sharp was saying that the face mask actually like adjusted the throw, so it actually like perfected the arc, or else it would have been too far right on the angle he was initially at.
It was literally magic that it happened.
He's like, the ball's moving in the air. I want to see if I can pull up. I got it. I know I'm late, but best no look pass of all time. 3 laughing emojis.
I mean,
it's cool coming from Mahomes to, I'd frame that if I was Fitz Magic.
It's just so unlucky. Like, I know the Raiders should have gotten a touchdown, but like to have no timeouts with 16 seconds and do that 70 yards on one play, like
they've been on both ends of it though. I mean, they won a crazy one with the Jets against the Jets, and so highs and lows for Raiders. Yeah,
very
highs and lows.
Well, let's wrap up the podcast with the games of the week. We'll go super quick because obviously we kind of already talked and touched on these 3 games. So the first one, Browns versus Steelers. I'm going to go with the Browns.
I'm going with Browns.
I'm going with the Browns.
Hey.
All right. And we're going to look at the Cardinals versus Rams. I personally, for the last time, I take the Cardinals.
I'm taking the Cardinals.
I'm taking the Cardinals as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to contradict myself because all the playoff scenarios have me really confused. I think I don't remember what I said earlier, but I think the Rams.
You contradict yourself. And the last one.
My opinion changed.
Drum roll.
Oh, this one, I don't.
Giants versus the Cowboys. If Washington loses, the Giants or Cowboys, the winner of this game will have a chance. Well, we'll have a chance to win the Super Bowl. Giants or Cowboys? I say Giants.
Giants.
Cowboys.
I'm gonna say Cowboys.
No.
What?
I'm not
No.
rooting for them. I think they're gonna win.
No.
I've never heard you say that.
I'm not rooting for them. I just think Dalton is gonna pull it off.
Dalton pulling it off? No. It's
again,
impossible.
This is like an independent opinion of the NFC East of it. Like the playoff picture is all me confused, but just looking at it right now, go Cowboys. Can't believe it.
2 against 2.
I'm not rooting for it. I think Washington's gonna still win it all, but you're asking me who wins between the Giants and Cowboys? I'm gonna give it to Cowboys.
Oh gosh.
Dude, you just
Good
said
choice.
go Cowboys.
I didn't say go that word.
Wow, an interesting turn of events to end
It's a weird 2020.
the last regular season episode of the 2020 season of the NFL Dorm Debate Podcast. We did not miss a single NFL week. We did 17 episodes straight. That's impressive. Round of applause for everyone here. Round of applause for our fans
Proud of us.
for supporting us.
Thankful for everyone who tunes in. Really means a lot.
Yeah, again, the 10,000 followers. I also forgot we reached 300 followers on YouTube. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
oh, it's crazy. We're finally coming together as the season comes to a close. And just so you guys know, if anyone's still watching, we're still going to be pumping out content. We're still going to be pumping out podcasts in between playoffs and draft. We'll probably take a break. But now that the playoffs are on, we're just going to be pumping out more and more content. Podcasts will still be going. So please stay tuned for that. And thank you guys all for watching and supporting us. Leave a like, comment down below, and we will see you guys, as always, at 10 a.m. on Thursday. See you guys next week.